today. We've got more lemongrass. Wait till you see this. Morning everyone, welcome back. This week has been a little odd, but that's all right. Every day we just try and get a little bit done. Yesterday we tried to get started on the trellis work, but we ran into two problems. One, the wood hadn't been cut yet. We only got some of it. We're going to go back there later today. I'm going to give them some time to get it done. We'll pick up that lumber, and over the weekend we'll try and get the trellis work prepared. Today we've got a big huge clump of lemongrass. Somebody who had a big piece of lemongrass in their yard, they wanted to thin it out. So what we did is we grabbed 90% of it and we divided up the rest and gave it back to them. Let me show you the lemongrass that we do have. Here's the lemongrass that we got. And as you see, it's been overgrown. There's a lot of it dried out. So we're going to cut all this stuff down so it's just the small piece that gets planted. And we're going to take a bunch of it and put it over in the timber forest, because I'm hoping to get the lemongrass to take over from these tall grasses that they have here. These tall grasses are really just too much. These grasses are 6, 7, 8 feet tall, and right now they're just too much. They're overcrowding the grasses. It's causing a real problem. So today they're going to spend most of the time working over in the timber section. It's still too early to just let it go native. So we do need to get some work done. We do want to get that thing planted out and we want it to be productive. So we're going to take a little time and energy and make it a productive piece of land. Sometimes it's frustrating. We've got this big hoe and we've been using it to dig up the grass. And the problem is the damn handle breaks on it all the time. So we got to keep coming back here. Now we're coming back to grab another handle. We're hoping that this one will last. Now, interestingly enough, the breadfruit that we had planted there in the food forest, it died. And luckily, there's a lot of really good looking breadfruit here. So we're going to replace the dead one with, that looks like a pretty good breadfruit. All right, guys, we're back. We're back here on the land. One of the things that we did get that needed to be done, we got a new breadfruit tree. The breadfruit tree we planted did not make it. It looked like it was doing well, then it just died. So I don't know exactly what the deal is with that, but it died. Also, one of the apple tree died. So what I'm going to do, if you look right here, we've got some macadamia seeds. What we're going to do is we're going to plant the macadamia seeds in the spot where the apple was, and I'm going to put some over where that lemon drop mangosteen is. That lemon drop mangosteen has been in the ground for 1.5 years, and when you see how big it is, it's insane. I mean, it doesn't make any sense. It's not even 2 feet tall. It's alive, but it's not growing. So we're going to plant these macadamia seeds, and hopefully we'll see how they grow. If the macadamias grow and that mangosteen doesn't, we're just going to let them grow. I'm not going to dig out the mangosteen, but if the macadamias outcompete it, good. If they don't, well, we're just going to see what happens. I've got some of these macadamia seeds planted at the house, and none of them have come up yet. It's been, I want to say 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks, I'm not sure, but none of the macadamias have popped yet. And I thought, the tree's dead. Paul Wheaton, he swears that every single time you transplant a tree, you kill the taproot. So if you grow outside of the location and then move it, you kill the taproot. I'm not convinced that's true. However, I do understand the theory. And you're really better off trying to grow from seed if possible. So we're going to try and grow these from seed. Now what we're going to do is, I've got 4. We're going to plant 2 of these seeds in each hole. This is on the swale mound, so this is the best place to actually plant. So we're going to plant here. I'll never understand why you have to use a machete. I buy tools. I buy shovels, I buy picks, I buy stuff that actually is designed for this. And every single time, you still insist on planting with a machete. Welcome to Jamaica. Every single thing, a machete is used for everything. No matter how inefficient it is, that's what they use. So anyway, we're going to put these macadamia. We've got 2 seeds planted here. We'll water them in. Maybe next week, after we finish cutting all this grass down and we get a good look at this area, we're going to prune all the trees. The timber trees are all over here. We'll prune them, and maybe I'll come in here with the teak seeds and plant those and see what they do. For now, we're just going to focus on these macadamias. Look, these early stages of food forests are always the part that you have to do the work. Once these are established, they will go forever, but it takes time. There's a lot of work involved in the early stages. In a couple years, the goal is in a couple years, this will be a self-repeating life cycle that we don't have to worry about. Let me show you this mangosteen. It's just shocking to me. This lemon drop mangosteen. Now understand, this has been here for 1.5 years, and it's right on the swale, so it's getting what it should get. But take a look at it. I don't even know what to do anymore. 1.5 years, that tree's been in this location, and it's not doing anything. So what we're going to do is we're going to plant these seeds kind of right next to it. There's the mangosteen. So right here, we're going to dig a little hole right there, and we're going to plant these 2 macadamia seeds. And if the macadamias grow faster and take over this spot, so be it. I really wanted the mangosteen to grow, but for some reason, it just isn't. I'll tell you right now, the biggest problem I see is we don't have nearly enough mulch over here. This old food forest section did not get the wood chips that we wanted. We didn't get the thick layers of mulch. We did get some grass cuttings in here. We did what we could, but it was before I had access to the wood chips. And if you take a look right here, there's the branch, and here we've got 6 banana circles, and they're all starting to really take root, and they're starting to look really good. I have a feeling that when we look at the difference between this food forest over here and this food forest right here, there's going to be a significant difference, and it will be strictly a matter of mulch and compost, because we did not have much compost when we planted this food forest. I'm going to give you an example of the difference, because you saw that lemon drop mangosteen. It may be 18 inches, maybe. It's got 2 branches, side shoots, and then the center upshoot. That's all. I'm going to show you 2 other trees we planted at the same time, and you can see the benefit. You can see how they grow differently than the others. Right here we have a pink grapefruit. I think this is a pink grapefruit. If it's not, it's an orange. This is a citrus, let's put it that way. I think it's a pink grapefruit. I'm pretty sure this is a pink grapefruit. And look at it. Now, it needs a little bit of work. Don't get me wrong, it doesn't look perfect. But it's growing, and it's doing pretty well. That guava right there is right next to that lemon drop mangosteen. Lemon drop mangosteen is right there, and look at this guava right next to it. And right next to the guava, there's this carambola, this star fruit. Look at how good that tree looks. It's stunning how good that tree looks. So why does that tree look so good? This guava produced guavas like crazy, and this lemon drop mangosteen right here, nothing. you just have to wonder, what's going on? Why is that lemon drop mangosteen so bad? Now, here's one more example. This cashew was planted at the same time. Now, this cashew is very small, but it's small primarily because it was brutalized. And I mean brutalized. The goats love this tree. The goats were coming through here, they ate it right down to the ground over and over and over again. I finally got the fencing up around it, and now it's been able to do pretty well. But it took a few months to get it where it is. It's not a soil issue because it's all the same soil. But for some reason, this cashew is doing real well, and that lemon drop mangosteen, not so much. So if all goes well, what will happen is one of those macadamias will grow, and we'll just have the macadamia replace the mangosteen in this spot. We'll just let that mangosteen wither and die. I'd like to see it. I really want a mangosteen. I want several mangosteens on this property, but I'm starting to think that just mangosteens aren't meant to grow here. We'll try again. I'm gonna try with a regular mangosteen, not with the lemon drop, when I find them, if I find them. I know they have them here, so we just have to keep our eyes open. The place we were just at had a bunch of breadfruits. So we grabbed one of the trees. It's a good looking tree. We're gonna get this thing planted, and hopefully this breadfruit will take over and do well where the other one died. Now, I'm going to admit this Zone 4 timber forest is becoming a little more work than I had anticipated when I planted it. And if I had really been thinking the whole thing through, I would have known this, because the grass that grows over here is this really tall, choking out grass. And the biggest problem is, if we don't clear it, the summer will dry it out and it'll burn, and we'll burn the whole field down. And with those timber trees in there, it'll end up killing all those trees. And this guy, one of my guys, he wants to plant in that section. So I told him, long as he grows things my way, all natural, no chemicals, no pesticides, none of that, and he takes good care of things, he can grow whatever he wants over there. So he and I are working out a plan, but he needs to, in order for us to do this, he's going to be clearing all the grasses, which is quite a bit of work, as you guys well know. But that is a whole lot of organic matter we're adding to the soil in the process, because we're not getting rid of it. All we're doing is cutting it down, laying it on the ground. So it'll give me the organic matter, kind of like a no-till farm. But we have to cut the grass to drop it. He's over there cutting it today. We're having this problem for two primary reasons. First and foremost, it's the rains. The rains this year are just unprecedented. In the 6 years I've lived here, I have never seen rains like this. Never. It doesn't happen. So for us to get this kind of rain, that's just unheard of. Secondly, this was a forest. We cut all the forest down. The problem is, it was a forest of stuff that was useless to us. So we cleared it in order to plant the teak and the ebony and the mahogany and the silky oak and the cedar. So we've got in here cedar, oak, mahogany, elm. We got a bunch of trees in here, but we had to clear it. And by clearing it, we opened up the ground so these grasses could start to take over. Now you've got great fertile soil from the forest, open sky from clearing the trees, and an abundance of rain, and you're going to get a grass explosion, and that's what we've had here. So we've had to clear this stuff to open up the trees so they don't take out the good trees. We want the good trees to take over. Unfortunately, those trees have to get tall enough to effectively take over. So let's take a look at some of these. I'll show you some of the good trees and I'll show you some of the pretty ugly trees too. Right here, what we have is an ebony that is just horrible. It's out of shape. There's no main stem. It looks like it's horrible. It's just ridiculously out of control. So what we're going to do is I'm going to get in here. I'm going to find the lead stem. I'm going to prune it to one lead stem and pull the grasses back. The root system on this tree is obviously strong. So if we pull back all the overgrowth, prune it down to one stem, it should explode and do very well. We've got many other ebonies on this property that look fantastic. This is a mahogany, and this mahogany is just sickly. It just is not doing, I mean, I won't say sickly, let me rephrase that. It isn't sick. It's alive and it's healthy. It's just very small. And we would have expected this thing to be much bigger than it is in the time it's been in the ground. But again, unfortunately, the grasses have kind of shaded it out and controlled the sunlight, making it very difficult for this thing to grow. This thing doesn't need to be pruned. Doesn't look like it needs any pruning, but what it needs is there's some vines on here. Got to get rid of the vines, get the vines off of it, and just expose it to some sun. This silky oak has got the same issue. It's been crowded in. It has been overcrowded and has not been exposed to a proper amount of light. And it's kind of just gone haywire. I'll need to get in here, find a single stem, prune it down to one, and give it the room it needs to take over. Because clearly it's got troubles. I've showed you I showed you 3 really ugly trees. Now I'm going to take a couple minutes. I'm going to show you some of the really good looking trees, because that's not what most of them, well, that's what some of them look like, but we've got others that look fantastic. I'm going to show you some of them right now. Right here, this is a silky oak. And this tree is about 6 feet tall. It is not quite high enough to escape the troubles that the grass and the vines could cause it. So it does need some help, but it is about, like I said, about 6 feet tall, and it looks beautiful. Right here is a mahogany. Now this is not the biggest mahogany we have. This one is about 5 feet, and it is straight stem from the base all the way to the tip, healthy, green, doing very, very well. Again, this one's about 5 feet. It's not our tallest. We've got several that are over 6 feet tall. It look beautiful. In the next year, these trees will definitely be tall enough where even if the grasses get tall, they're not going to be bothered by that. Right here is a blue mahoe. This is a big Jamaican tree. The blue mahoe is a big deal here, and this is one of them. Most of our blues don't look very good, I gotta admit. But this is a good looking tree. It does need a little pruning. I see I've got a stem that needs to be snipped before it gets out of control. But otherwise, now again, this is only about 3.5 feet. It's a small tree. However, let's take a look right over here. We are seeing, and I have to admit, I'm a little surprised. The ebony, most of these ebonies are doing better than I ever expected. I gotta admit, I really am surprised. I thought they would be much slower growers than they are. But this ebony here is 6 feet tall, easy. It's about 6 feet tall to the tip. It's not completely straight, but it's straight enough. And it looks wonderful. Right behind it, let's come over here, right behind it, this is another mahogany. Now take a look at this mahogany. This mahogany is another straight. It's got to be 7+ feet tall, and it is perfectly healthy. It's a wonderful, happy tree. Now, as you can see, some of the trees did really well. Some of them, not so much. The primary problem is that I allowed this grass to get out of control. Now we're focusing on dealing with this problem. I'm really hoping that by next Friday, we will have this whole area straightened out, the grass knocked down, and we will know where we have tree issues. I am going to be talking with the people at forestry because we can get more trees. We do have a bunch of trees that died, but we're ready to plant new ones. The goal is to replace all the dead trees and have this grass knocked down and under control by next Friday. We're done for the day. We'll be back next time. God bless everyone.